Hey, welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Uriah, founder and co-host of NBA Now and Then, The Greatest Comparisons. Please click on the subscribe button and remember to give us a review on Apple or Spotify as we strive to provide unique content that enriches the community of NBA fans. In this special compilation episode featuring guests from our 50, 40, 90 interview series, we dive into 3 comparisons of NBA stars who prove their reliability in the most critical moments of the game. This episode is appropriately called In the Clutch. Zach Chavalella is a fan of Jalen Brunson, but points out Chauncey Billups' leadership in the 2004 finals.
Jalen Brunson and big shot himself, Chauncey Billups.
I gotta go Chauncey. I think that I actually like Brunson a lot.
I do too.
I am a fan of quite a few Knicks players, which, some Sixers fans may not like to hear that, but
they were Villanova guys.
Talent.
Yeah.
And I'm a Duke fan, so I don't even really care about that, first of all, but
it's nice talking to you, Zach. Have a good night.
Jalen Brunson has increasingly gone too far into grifting territory, and people have and will continue to call me a hypocrite, even though I cover the Philadelphia 76ers, which I cover the team. It's not me saying that about Brunson doesn't mean I don't think about Embiid. In any case,
Zach covers the Philadelphia 76ers for Philly Sports Network, and he is the digital editor for Philly Metro newspaper.
I just think that the way that Chauncey played, he obviously was never a superstar. The way that he elevated that Detroit Pistons team, the way that he played in Denver, I really think, and Chauncey's a guy who I think that you could even have that conversation of like Chauncey or Jamal Murray, like is another kind of comp that you could talk about there. I like Chauncey, man. I gotta go Chauncey there, and part of the reason for me is just the shot. Just in a big moment, I believe in that shot from range more than I believe in it for Brunson.
Dusty Garza holds Chauncey Billups in high regard, but looks at Jalen Brunson's emergence from a unique standpoint.
Has earned his flowers, but Jalen Brunson, man, wow. There's so many things that I like about Jalen because he comes from a basketball family. And that is also something I learned from the Spurs system in RC is you look at the forefathers of the player.
Dusty has been covering the Spurs since 1993 and has been a contributor for KABB Fox 29, News for San Antonio, and NBA TV.
Weird as this sounds, I often equate it to coming from a circus family. There are families in the circus that have just been doing it for a while. Like they know what the family life is like on the road. So I'm going to definitely go with Jalen.
Temple University grad.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Paul Nepper loves this comparison, but he finds it tough to choose between the two. It's the defensive edge of Chauncey Billups that makes his decision.
No, I think it's a great comp because there are some similarities there. They're probably somewhat similar three-point shooters. Maybe Brunson's a tad better, but they're similar. I think Brunson looks for his shot more now. And Billups didn't have Brunson's footwork. Brunson's footwork is elite, and his ability to get his shot off is elite.
Paul Nepper is the author who wrote Knicks of the 90s. His next book, a Moses Malone biography, will be released in the fall of 2025.
I think I take Chauncey. I hate picking against my guy, but I think I take Chauncey. The two things, and they bleed together somewhat, are the size and the defense. Chauncey was a really good defender, and he could defend. He could switch better because he was bigger than Brunson. And Brunson's great at taking charges, but he's not a very good on-ball defender or the pick and roll. He struggles. So defense would be the deciding factor for me there, and I'll take Billups.
Jalen Brunson, Chauncey Billups.
Jalen Brunson,
Chauncey Billups. Jalen Brunson.
Chauncey Billups.
The power three-pointers. This is the three, and they have to start 3 seconds to do it.
On this episode of NBA Now and Then, The Greatest Comparisons, we compare two unassuming point guards who proved themselves at every level.
This Hall of Fame player was known as Mr. Big Shot for a reason.
Their games filled with poise and skill.
This player has Madison Square Garden rocking again in the postseason.
With focus and determination as leaders of their respective franchises.
Trusting these two to make clutch plays was never just an option. It was expected.
We are eager to present to you Jalen Brunson and Chauncey Billups. I'm Uriah.
I'm Maurice.
And I'm Ben.
And we're here to talk NBA
now and then.
Hey guys, we're back. We presented to you in the past few weeks the 1984 and 1996 NBA draft comparison. And obviously you guys have probably listened to the Paolo Banchero and Blake Griffin episode. And we're here today talking two great point guards. If you're an NBA fan, you are definitely in for a treat. If you're a Knicks or a Pistons fan, let your pride shine. Before we kick things off, though, I need to share a recent Apple podcast review about our show. It comes from someone who's a huge follower of NBA Now and Then on Instagram. He literally likes every single IG story that we post, and it means a lot. So I'm going to read it out loud. Here is our 5-star review from Kennedy Jackson. He says, best basketball podcast I've heard in years. Keep it up. Did the little 100 emoji, fire symbol. Yours truly, Kennedy Jackson. So thank you, Kennedy.
Thanks, Kennedy. Love the support.
Yeah, he's a former basketball player, and I could tell that he really appreciates what we do. We've had some communications on IG, and keep checking us out, man. And Kennedy, feel free to share, man. Definitely spread the word, what we're trying to do out here. Now, if you want to help us out, and you want to help us out like Kennedy, we ask that you follow our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and go ahead and leave a review, just like Kennedy did. 5 stars only, by the way. We'll read it out loud, just like we did for Kennedy, and we'll give you a shout out to show our appreciation. It really makes a difference as we're out here trying to build our comparison hoops community. Now, let's get to our players. We're talking Chauncey Billups and Jalen Brunson. And obviously, Billups has been in the news lately, which leads us to the fundamental question. We're trying to answer which player of today reminds us the most of Chauncey Billups. Now, let's go to Maurice first. Why are we talking these two players today?
Both players were not impactful coming into the league. You could easily make the case that Chauncey Billups was on the teetering on draft bust. And for Jalen Brunson, he had to fly his wings somewhere else and be the main star for him, for us to really see the talent that he has.
Yeah, excellent point. It's so ironic. I was listening to an interview where Chauncey Billups was on the panel with Malika Andrews and I think Kendrick Perkins. And he actually said, Maurice, that he was not ready when he came into the NBA. Even though he's a top pick, he literally said in the interview, he's like, when he was in college, he was bigger than everyone at his position. He was better. And when he got to the NBA, there were guys stronger than him and faster than him. He admitted himself, he just was not ready to make the impact. What about you, Ben?
I would say that, kind of piggybacking on what Maurice said, they've improved their game a lot. They weren't one and done in college, and they had good college careers, which we'll get into. So they're not the most athletic guys, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Chauncey came up with, Iverson, Kobe, Vince Carter, and Jalen Brunson is a Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Maxey, right? Trae Young, quick guys. And so these guys have really excelled by just getting better. So their fundamentals are unbelievable.
Neither player is going to be the fastest. Neither player is going to jump the highest. And I think we can agree neither player is the greatest shooter or the best shooter. So both of them put the work in.
They're clutch.
Yeah.
Both of them. Yeah.
Yeah, using their IQ to do what they need to do to be successful, I think, is part of growth for every NBA player, and especially for those who have to compensate for any lack of athleticism. For these two, you won't see a lot of dunk highlights. There are so many highlight reels of these players, but no matter how young they weren't really all about the flash. They weren't all about showing off. They were very fundamental, and they used those fundamentals to achieve the success that they have or had at certain points of their career. Let's get started. Christopher Klein makes a case for Damian Lillard, emphasizing certain aspects of his game that distinguishes him from Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller or Damian Lillard?
I think this is interesting. Obviously, Reggie was kind of before his time in a way. I think, again, like trying to project forward or how would Reggie Miller look in 2024, I think teams know how to make use of that skill set more effectively than they did when he was in his prime.
Chris is a staff writer for Fansided, and he is also a co-host of a 76ers podcast called The Sixer Sense.
I'm going to roll with Dame. Obviously, just more on-ball juice. Like Lillard's off-the-dribble shooting is one of the great skills of the last 10 years. I know he's been talking lately about how he's underappreciated, and obviously he hasn't had like the postseason success, but I do think there's some truth to like he's one of the best shooters we've ever seen, and he doesn't really get that credit because we all talk about Steph and Clay, which is fair.
Yeah.
But Dame is really special in his own way. Obviously, Reggie has like more size and is probably a much better defender, so I think you could go either way here, but I'm gonna roll with
it's toss up the height and the defense with Reggie, but then Dame can do more. He can facilitate. He's a good passer. Mike Giuseppe highlights how Reggie Miller took Michael Jordan's Bulls 7 games in a playoff series.
The Jim Kelly of the NBA. Like if you had just won one, the whole narrative changes, because now it's like he's not Steph, but man, he was almost as talented and almost scored as much.
Mike Giuseppe is the co-host for the popular Ringer podcast, Sports Cards Nonsense.
Never had any help, and the one year he does it, Reggie was a bad dude.
Yeah.
And those were some pretty pathetic teams. Like Rick Schmitz and Detlef Schrempf were not terrible, but
took Jordan's team to a Game 7.
That's what I mean, with very little help. I mean, that's Dale Davis getting major minutes in those finals
Davis
games.
brothers,
I mean, I think I go with Reggie because I probably could win more with Reggie. I've just never seen Dame win like that.
Okay. Yeah, and he's got a little more height too. Reggie's 6'7".
Yeah.
Dame is 6'2". So Chris Wilde wishes a certain player had stayed with Damian Lillard in Portland and offers praise to Reggie Miller for his iconic playoff fourth quarter versus the Knicks.
Reggie Miller stayed on the Pacers that whole time, and it's just it's so rare. Even back then, it was kind of rare. I know it wasn't as rare back then, and like Damian Lillard really gave Portland everything until he just was like, I can't anymore.
He did.
I can't.
Chris K. Wilde is the co-host of the wildly entertaining LA Clippers podcast called Clipcast.
And so it's a total bummer that LaMarcus Aldridge didn't stick around and hang out with Damian Lillard, because maybe they would have been a little bit more special.
Yeah, and he didn't really do much, and San Antonio wasn't that good.
No, not at all. And I understand trying to go to get to work with Pop, but it's like that those guys got to the Final Four. D-Lil's Portland Trailblazers, that was a year that the Clippers really could have gotten to the Final Four and didn't. Damian Lillard or Reggie Miller? I mean, the initial instant answer is Reggie Miller, right? Because you just look at the guy. I mean, I remember watching that game in real time when he single-handedly beat the Knicks in 12 seconds or 14 seconds or less than 20 seconds or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And that absolutely blew me away. And I do know that Damian Lillard hit that big shot in round 1, but he didn't hit like 3 back-to-back-to-back. He hit 1. So I'm going to go Reggie Miller.
Zach appears to lean one way, but then he goes with
3 here. Damian Lillard or Reggie Miller?
I mean, you're talking about guys who, in the sense that they're both incredible shot makers, like they share that similarity.
Clutch.
Clutch.
That gene is absolutely incredible. I've been a huge Damian Lillard fan for much of my life. When I was originally coming into the NBA, I gravitated towards some of those West Coast teams. Like I mentioned, the Sacramento Kings earlier. The Portland Trailblazers were actually the first team that drafted me in that NBA 2K game. And so I fell in love with Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge,
Brandon
Nico
Roy.
Gasol.
There we go. Let's go,
Roy, one of my all-time favorite players. And
we need to do an episode on him. Just saying.
Had that man been healthy, you're putting him up against Kobe Bryant, and I will not be taking questions otherwise.
Him and D Wade would have been fighting for the best shooting guard name if he was healthy. Absolutely.
Incredible player. But all that just to say, I've got a lot of love for Portland. I had a lot of love for Dame, still do. Reggie, man.
I knew that was coming.
Reggie, come on, man.
Damian Lillard. Reggie Miller. Damian Lillard Reggie Miller. Damian Lillard. Jordan is our best. A chance to Harper's on Miller. McKee gets it in the middle.
On Hall of Fame Episode 3 of NBA Now and Then, The Greatest Comparisons, we compare two of the most clutch three-point shooters the NBA has ever seen.
8 points in 9 seconds? Spike Lee still can't believe what he saw that night.
Their veins pumping ice.
An attempt from the logo to win the game? No sweat.
And their shots full of fire.
The lights were never too bright for either of these guys.
We are ecstatic to present to you Damian Lillard and Reggie Miller. I'm Uriah.
I'm Maurice.
I'm Lucas.
And I'm Ben.
And we're here to talk NBA
Now and Then.
Okay, here we go. Episode 3, Hall of Fame Episode 3. We've already talked about Isaiah Thomas, Kyrie Irving, Joel Embiid, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Now it's time to talk about some clutch performers. Let's start with Lucas. What makes this comparison so special to you?
So when I'm thinking about these two, you got a point guard right here who's arguably the second best shooting point guard of all time and in this current generation. Comparing him to, up until recently, the best shooter in NBA history, now probably third or fourth. But still, comparing two elite shooters at the guard position makes this a unique comparison to me.
They're just clutch. Like either guy, they're playoff risers. Give them the shot, they'll take it. They have the most historic moments in playoff history. Unfortunately, neither have won a chip.
Follow up what Ben was saying. Both of them are not only great three-point shooters, but both of them are known to have clutch, not even regular season, but playoff three-point shots.
Yeah, I think about how they elevate their games when the game matters the most. You think about the confidence. You think about how gutsy and relentless these guys have shown in the biggest games with the brightest lights. Albeit they didn't win championships, but still they were fun to watch. And now here's a hoops tip from a former guest and a friend of the show, Sherwin Vassallo. Sherwin is a basketball trainer from Canada who's also the player development and assistant men's basketball coach for St. Boniface.
Here are 4 tips to develop your shot consistency. Number 1, you always have to be in balance. If I shoot with a balanced stance, then I up the percentage of the shot going in. It doesn't matter where on the floor you are, what shot you're going to do, you want to maintain your balance. The next tip, understanding a good shot from a bad shot. A bad shot, it's highly contested, or it's going to get you off balance. But if you have a good shot, the defense is out of rotation. This is a wide open shot. So the proper read is just going to shoot. Next tip is maintaining consistent shot flow. When you shoot, you can't change your form every single time because that's going to change the way your shot comes off your hands. So if I have the same shot all the time, then I up the chances of the ball going in. The last tip, it's all mental. You have to have a short memory. If you let misses get in your head, then the next shot is going to be off and the next one and the next one. And that's going to be very tough for you to get out of. Have a mindset that allows you to accept misses because that's just a part of the game of basketball. Short memory allows you to have a more consistent shot.
Dusty Garza acknowledges Luka Doncic's offensive game, but goes with Larry Bird for this reason.
Man.
That's the tough one.
I'm going to take Larry, and again, because of the defensive edge that he provides me versus Luka. Luka can score he's a walking bucket, no doubt. But, defense wins championships and offense sells tickets. And like we see, what happened with Dallas. So many people were high on Dallas. I picked Boston just because of that same reason that I'm picking the way I am right now, is because defense wins championships. And Larry was a good defender as well as an awesome offensive player. So that's a good one. That is a good one.
When we did that episode, Dusty, we definitely fleshed out some little details. And one of the things is his defense was overlooked. Larry Bird was an all defensive player, and he hustled. He took defensive assignments that most people would cringe at, like guarding Julius Erving. Who wants to guard him? But he did his best. But I think, Maurice, it is tough because Luka can do so much, but I think Larry could do pretty much what Luka could do, but defense is that edge to him. Paul Nepper goes with Larry Legend because, he's a legend.
Thing I said for the last question is that we've seen Luka, obviously he brought a team to the finals, but Larry Bird won 3 championships. Larry Bird won 3 MVP awards.
He had some help. He did have some help.
He absolutely had help.
3 Hall of Famers or 2, at least 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
There were 3 if you think Bill Walton.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I'll go with Bird. Getting a nod because he did it. He's done it.
Everyone says Bird. I've been waiting for someone to break that.
I think the defense is what separates. Yes. I think when we analyzed that episode, it was the defense, which people forget sometimes really separates some guys.
Chris Wilde throws in a little humor before he makes his choice for...
First of all, who was chubbier at their chubbiest? Luka Doncic or Larry Bird? Larry Bird, did you ever see that Dream Team documentary? And Barkley's talking about Larry Bird. He's like, Larry Bird will drink Budweiser before the games, and that's a strong beer. Just like the idea of Larry Bird drinking Buds with the Dream Team. Luka Doncic is definitely not drinking Budweiser. He's probably drinking Stella Artois. I would definitely say Larry Bird. He's one of the all-time greats. I think Luka Doncic, obviously, his ceiling is probably Larry Bird. Maybe higher. I don't know. But, I just feel like, yes, he is fun to watch. Yes, he did get his team to the finals. What he's done is very impressive. He got to the Final Four. He got to the finals. He's gotten to the Final Four twice. He's gotten to the finals. He's got a little help now with Kyrie, Irving. But it's Larry flipping Bird, man.
Sherwin Vasallo sees the similarities between these two offensive juggernauts, but he picks Luka Magic, sort of.
I am going to. Oh man, wow!
Yeah,
I'm going to have to say Luka. I'm going to have to say Luka.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I think you might be the first person.
You might be the first one.
Okay, tell us why. Yeah. I want to know. Let us know.
Wow. I mean, and this is going to be weird for me to just try and break them apart. Both IQ players. They're both good shooters, great shooters.
Yeah.
I think that just a 0.5% up on athleticism for Luka.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's nothing that's definitive. I think it's just more of a, ask me tomorrow. I'll probably pick Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Luka Doncic, Larry Bird.
Luka Doncic, Larry Bird. Luka Doncic, Larry Bird.
Most amazing late game players that I've ever seen.
Finney Smith to inbound.
Back to Doncic. Doncic pulls up, three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good. Doncic wins the game.
On this episode of NBA Now and Then, the greatest comparisons, we compare two of the most skilled, versatile offensive players of their era.
From small town Indiana to big city Boston, this legend helped save the NBA.
Their basketball genius, unbelievable.
His fantastic play has added magic to his name, but not the one from the 80s.
Their spontaneous style, sublime.
Whatever these two lacked athletically, their skill helped build a surplus of iconic highlights.
We are proud to present to you Luka Doncic and Larry Bird. I'm Uriah.
I'm Maurice.
I'm Lucas.
And I'm Ben.
And we're here to talk NBA
Now and Then.
Okay, we're back with another Hall of Fame episode. This is truly going to be special. One player is just doing things that is truly remarkable, coming from Slovenia to the United States, and then obviously a blast from the past. Talk about nostalgia, Larry Bird, Larry Legend. Before we get into our comparisons, let's talk about why we're comparing these players. Let's go with Ben first. Why are we comparing Luka to Larry?
Probably the obvious one. They're good shooters, and they're both white guys who can ball. If I'm being honest, I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, and they're kind of slow. They're not athletic. Similar size. They can play point guard. They just kind of have that dog in them too. So yeah.
See, I thought color did have something to do with it, but not necessarily the two white guys. They both wear green in their jersey. That's what I thought you were going to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Maurice, what about you? Why are we talking about these players?
I think both of them have kind of like the same attributes, the same skill sets. They're not the most athletic. They're not the fastest. Neither of them jump the highest. But they get the job done, and they get it done in a very special way.
Absolutely. And Lucas.
I mean, look, I'm gonna point out what Ben said. They are white guys, but there's been other skilled white guys in the NBA. I think we can all agree with that. But the thing that makes these two guys different than the rest of the white guys is the fact that they have a I don't care attitude. I'm gonna do me. I don't care that I'm not the most athletic. I don't care that I can't jump the highest, but I'm still gonna dominate this game, and I'm gonna tell you how I do it sometimes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I can't follow that up. That was really well said, Lucas. I will add to that the whole idea of them being very vocal and confident with their game despite what they lack athletically.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you pretty much went into the whole, I'm going to tell you how I did it, because that's what Larry used to do.
Oh, yeah.
Trash talking. And Luka, he's a little bit of a trash talker, too, when we talk about, obviously, the rivalry with the Suns and Devin Booker.
Him and Devin Booker especially. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And with the refs sometimes, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch a lot of Mavs on League Pass, and he just will take the shot. And I think Larry had that, too.
Yeah. The one thing that I want to say before we officially begin is I feel very fortunate to have grown up in that era in the 80s, because there were three things you could always count on in the spring in the mid 80s. It was the weather getting milder and nicer out. Obviously, the birds coming out and chirping and the animals coming out from hibernation. You always counted on the Lakers and Celtics being on TV, the green versus the gold. And as a kid, it was so... You just get so hype because you knew the Magic and Larry rivalry was something unique. It's something that Maurice alluded to earlier about saving the NBA, and we'll get more into that later.
Let me ask you guys this. Is the Booker-Luka rivalry, which, by the way, they could have been teammates, is this rivalry going to be as good as the Magic and Bird one?
No.
Probably not.
I think it would have to be like if it would have to be a top 5 player. And no offense to Booker.
Are they not both top 10s already?
No, but top 5. Top 5. And it's hard to crack that top 5. That top 5 has been pretty...
Here's the thing. Let me jump in here. To answer the question and move on, it can't be, because if you look at the historical context, this rivalry actually started in college. So,
that's true. Yeah.
And it was so contentious. And we'll get into it with some of the history stuff, but yeah, this is going to be a special episode. Let's get right to it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Remember, every Sunday we have new comparison episodes along with special category episodes and tons of other unique content that celebrates the great game of basketball. Until next time, I'm Uriah with NBA Now and Then, the greatest comparisons. Peace.